Hi, how you going? So I'm doing another EDC video this week. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube of people doing micro EDC kits in an Altoids tin, so I decided to have a go at that and just see what I could pack in. Now, I live in Australia where we don't have Altoids or I can't find them at a reasonable price, so I just had this tin lying around that I thought would do the job. I measured it up and it's slightly smaller than an Altoids tin, so that makes it a little bit more of a challenge. But I got out the little printer and made it look a little bit more appropriate for the job. This is not a kit for survival in the wilderness. With my lifestyle, I'm very unlikely to get lost in the wilderness. And if I do, I've got all my camping gear or pack and a whole lot of other gear that'll be a lot more specifically useful than this. So I don't need like multiple ways of starting fires and water purification and fishing gear and that kind of stuff. This is more for urban EDC, for backpack or pocket or glove box, to have things that might be useful in an everyday situation. So this is like a smaller version of the kits that I carry on a daily basis that I've done videos on before. I can link to them. I don't know if it's that side or that side. It's one of the two. I'll link to them there and you can watch those if you like. There's a lot more stuff in there and I go into more detail about what I've got and why. So let's get in and see what I've got. So firstly, because this is a dodgy little tin, the lid doesn't hold on very well. So I just have a couple of soft, reusable Velcro cable ties to hold that together. They're also something that might come in handy if you need them. Inside the lid to begin with, it slots in there really well and holds in there so you can hold the lid upside down and it won't fall out. I have one of these little micro tool card things. It's got screwdrivers, spanners, and a ruler and a bottle opener. So lots of useful stuff on there, and I thought it was a really good flat, won't take up much space thing to start the kit out with. Also in the lid I have a few band-aids in a little bag. I also have some cash. I've only got $10 because that's all I had in my wallet, but if I'm going to use this kit more, I'll stock that up with a little bit more money so that I've got enough to get a taxi home or to get a meal if I need it. I also have some of the Listerine strips, which I have in my normal kit, and I usually carry some in my pocket anyway. They are just, you put one on your tongue and it just gives you a fresh mouth. So in the top, to begin with in this kit, I just have a piece of microfiber cloth that I've cut to fit. This is good for screens or my reading glasses or those kind of things, just to keep smudges away. Next, I have a little tube of hand sanitizer. I still carry some hand sanitizer in my pocket, but if that's run out, then I have this. This just has a couple of serves of it inside a sealed tube that I've sealed with some flame and pliers. The next thing I have is a pen. Even though we're in the digital age and we all have our phones, having a pen is still a useful thing to have. This is just a cheap pen that I've cut down to be tiny. You can still write with it. I can still hold it in my hand and write okay. I'm not sure how long the ink in that will last, but it doesn't need to last long. I got a pack of 10 of these for $2, so I can chop down more if I need them or just replace the inserts. Wrapped around the pen, I have an elastic band. These are really useful for a multitude of different things. So the next thing I have is a Bic lighter. There's not a lot to say about these. They're just useful little things. They're very, very reliable if you need fire, or if you need to melt something, or I use it when we go away for the weekend and there's no matches in the fireplace, that kind of thing. And wrapped around the lighter, I have 10 or 20 meters of Nano Cord. So that's really quite strong. It's as small as string, but it's really, really strong. So that'll come in useful if I need that. The next thing I have is one of these little micro towels. They're compressed. You just add a little bit of water or hand sanitizer to them and they expand out to quite large. And I've used them for cleaning up messes, for cleaning up my hands when I get stuff all over them, or my partner has used them for makeup wipes before. And yeah, if you add hand sanitizer to them, they can become a sanitizing wipe as well. They're really cool little things, and you get a packet of them for about $10 for 100 of them. I also have some medication. I've just got a couple of paracetamol and a couple of ibuprofen. All of the things in this kit are things that you would replenish as you use. So I've just got enough for like one day of headaches, and then I can replenish it once I use them. I also have a little tube of super glue. This one is completely sealed, and once you screw the lid on it, it pierces it and you can use it. This is obviously good for gluing things together, but it's also could be used in place of band-aids in a pinch. It seals up wounds nicely until you can get proper medical care for them. The next thing I have is a torch. I have the Olight 1R2. This is a good little torch and it has its normal dull or really quite super bright. You unscrew it and it's chargeable by micro USB. It would be nice if it was USB-C, but there's always a micro USB cable around, so that's fine. Next, I have a knife. I don't have a real multi-tool or a pocket knife in this. I've got the little card, but I've got this little box cutter. It's the same one that I carry in my normal kits, and it's really good for opening packages for that type of stuff. It's just a simple little thing. I got it for $2 from a discount shop, and it's made out of metal, so it's solid as well. The next thing I have is a micro SD card in an SD adapter. I film a lot of stuff outside. I've usually got multiple cameras on the go. I've run out of storage before and it's quite annoying. So the good thing about having the micro one in the adapter means this will cover, the micro will cover my GoPro, or the adapter will cover my bigger cameras. So having both is really useful. The next thing I have is a charging cable. This is a micro USB one that'll charge the torch, and I have an adapter for it which adapts it to USB-C, so it'll charge my phone or my cameras. There's no room for a power bank in here, but you've usually got access to a USB port, so you can charge your phone if you need to, or charge a torch or whatever it is that you need to charge, and this cable will do it. I also have a couple of little plastic cable ties, really useful things. The last time I used mine was bundling up cables under my desk at work when they were all dangling down and getting tangled around everything, so really useful little things to have. Next, I have about a metre or two of gaff tape around a plastic card. I use gaff tape all the time, temporarily, permanently, just great stuff. So I've got that there if I need it. I also have a little sewing kit. This is just 2 needles and probably a couple of meters of thread. And with that, I can sew a button back on or mend a tear. I also have a couple of safety pins in there. You can also use them to press the reset button on electronic devices or as a SIM ejector tool, that kind of stuff. So the next thing I have is a couple of toothpicks. Goes without saying. Useful things if you need them. I also have an alcohol wipe, which goes along with the hand sanitizer in sanitizing things, surfaces or yourself, so that's good to have. And lastly, I have just some scrap paper. I can use that with the pen to leave notes or to take notes to myself. I'll keep a lookout for an Altoids tin if I see one in my travels that I can make a more comprehensive kit, because I think they're a bit bigger, so I could get some more decent stuff in there, and probably a multi-tool and all of those kind of things, so I can have a better kit and do a follow-up. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff, and if not, have a great day. See ya.